Bike blogger here. This is my Wabi Lightning SE single speed bike. I got some skin wall tires on here, the Continental Grand Prix Classic 25mm wide tires. In this video we'll talk a little bit about what is skin wall, what is gum wall, and all that good stuff. Alright, let's talk about my Continental Grand Prix Classic tires. I've had them for a little over a week. Seem to be doing really well. Haven't had a flat yet. I do pump them up every time I go riding though, as you should do with narrow tires at high pressures. Because the pressure will drop pretty quickly in these high performance tires and high performance bicycle wheels. They look really cool. The reason I got them is because I wanted kind of a different look on this bike. I kind of like to have all my bikes fit the same, but I also like a slightly different feel. I like each bike to have like a personality. Bicycle personality. Whew. It's kind of wet outside, but there's people out and about. Let's go on the gravel here. Be very careful when transitioning from you know, road surface to gravel, because I fell off my bike once and it was not a pretty sight. I split open my chin and had to get a dozen stitches, and a couple of those internal stitching type of stitches that, you know, they just dissolve. Because I had some, quite a bit of bleeding. This was actually, it was on Labor Day. It was actually 5 years ago maybe. I believe it was just before I started this channel, so it might have been 4 or 5 years ago. I don't quite remember. It was not on this bicycle. I was riding my Diamondback Honjo Comp. I think they still make that model, although I think they've raised the price over the years. Anyway, my Continental tires, these are my very first aftermarket Continental tires I've ridden, so they're a popular brand. I don't know, nothing really bad to say about them. I want to kind of say that they feel like they roll better, or I like them a little better than the Schwalbe. I would say the Grand Prix tires are equivalent to the Schwalbe Durano, which is what I've ridden for at least a couple years now. And I have gotten punctures in those tires. I don't like blaming the tire though, because any equivalent tire is just going to get you, you know, equivalent puncture protection. But it really comes down to mounting a tire properly and keeping it pumped up and not riding it through a bunch of glass. So if you can do those three things, you'll very likely not get punctures very often. I think the reason why touring cyclists, those who travel across country and countries, get flat tires is they ride in the shoulder or on highways and stuff, which, to get from one little city to the next, may be the only safest way of doing it, riding in the shoulder. But cars act like street sweepers, and they'll just blow all the debris, all the glass all the little metal shards and little pins and nails into the shoulder. So you're essentially riding a bicycle, just a very simple machine in I look in all directions. Always look before you go. Don't shoot first and ask questions later. Always aim and then shoot. Don't shoot then aim. So it's September, nice and cool. It's a little wet outside, so this is my first real time testing out these Continental Grand Prix Classic tires with some wet surfaces. It was sprinkling earlier. There might actually be some droplets on the lens. Sorry about that. If I go to wipe the lens without like a microfiber cloth, which I don't have with me right now, I can end up smudging the lens and making the visibility worse on the camera. So we'll just let it air dry. So very happy with these tires so far. They're called the Classic. I think only mainly because they have the skin wall coloring to them. I think that's it. They only come in one size, 25 millimeter, which I don't know if I consider 25 millimeter tires classic tires. I mean, classic, I mean, depends on what you define as classic or vintage, but classic would probably be more like 23 mil or 21 millimeter. Extremely narrow, but I don't think anyone really runs 21 millimeter tires anymore, unless that's all they can find for their older bicycle. You know, we're talking like 1980s and 70s, you know, older bicycles. Bicycles that are generally older than I am. Watch out for down branches. Getting quite a lot of rain. Good luck to you out there on the East Coast. Shouts out to the East Coast of the United States. There might be a hurricane coming. Might have already landed by the time this video gets posted. Because it's actually the weekend now. But I think coming up here Thursday, September, I don't know, 13th or something, there might be a Category 4 hitting somewhere between, you know, Florida and New York or whatever. So somewhere along the East Coast. So that's the thing about the East Coast. At least the Northeast. You know, you get, or the Central East Coast, I guess, the Northeast, you get the blizzards, you get the hurricanes, but at the West Coast, you get the earthquakes, fires. So take your poison. But here in the Midwest, you know, we just get the blizzards rarely. We get some rainstorms, you know. But basically we get the humidity. Since we're so centralized here. I live in St. Louis, Missouri, which is pretty much the biggest metropolitan area in the center, like the dead center of the United States. So we're pretty much away from everything. But if you're traveling by foot or by bike or on the road, and you're going from one point of the country to the complete opposite point of the country, there's a fair chance you might travel through the state of Missouri. And unlike other states, like Oklahoma, we don't have tolls in Missouri. So there's been talk about making some highways toll roads, like Interstate 70. But I don't know, local politicians haven't wanted to do that. So we're kind of a low tax state, but there are other states that don't even collect certain taxes. So whatever. We're kind of a middle of the road state, although we have politically we're very red And we're usually last on a lot of things in terms of progress. But there is one thing we're first on. We're the first state in the United States to make it illegal to label veggie burgers meat. You can't use the word meat. I don't know if you can even use the word burger, but they just made that regulation in effect like a week or two ago. So we're first for that, yay! Not. Traveling at a slight uphill, 17 miles per hour. Kind of booking along here. I feel pumped. Woo. Really liking these tires, but I will say that just like a new pair of shoes, you know, breaking them in. I actually find some shoes extremely comfy for several miles, you know, maybe even a couple hundred miles. Running shoes tend to only last me though, like every 400 miles. A good slash high performance slash fancy road tire is actually probably only going to last you a few hundred miles. This tire though, it's not exactly high performance, so I would expect this tire to last probably a couple thousand miles. Of course the rear tire goes first, and I've talked about this before in a previous video, like rotating tires. You know, once you start wearing down the rear tire, move it to the front and put the front in the back. I've heard other opinions about that. Maybe you should only move the front tire to the back and then get rid of the back tire, because if you move the back tire to the front, which is already pretty worn compared to the front tire, the original front tire, that was a Bike Share Bike by Line Bike back there. Nice and easy here. I don't have a bell to kind of go by my voice or my loud freewheel to alert people, but sometimes people are just wearing headphones anyway. Anyway, what we're talking about? Oh yeah, rotating tires. You could rotate the back tire, or well, rotate the front tire to the back. So take off the front tire, put it on the back, and then throw away the back tire, basically. Or maybe you can repurpose it for something, like as for shims or something, dampen vibrations on some components or whatever. But anyway, if you move the really worn back tire to the front, you know, your front tire is the thing that really hits everything first. You know, I mean, it hits all the glass and everything on the road. So you pretty much do not want a front tire that's really worn. The back tire can be bad too, because you put a lot of weight on it. But the front tire, at least for me, you know, I don't weigh a whole lot, so the front tire is really important for me, because when I hit stuff, it's more likely I'm going to blow the front tire. And actually, I've actually blown the front tire probably. That guy back there was letting me go, but I was kind of shouting, so I don't know if he was like, if he thought I was shouting at him. Anyway, the front tire, I want to get out of the park. I don't know why I'm still in the park here. The front tire hits everything first, and I think 4 out of 5 times, maybe 9 out of 10 times, it's always been my front tire that I've gotten a flat tire on. I can only think once I've ever gotten a flat tire on the rear, and it was just a slow leak, and then I noticed it when I wasn't even on the bike. So yeah, I definitely get the flat tire going flat, the front tire going flat first, and it could also be because of rotating tires, like I said. So now I'm kind of the opinion, do not rotate your back tire to the front. Don't take a really worn back tire and put it on your front wheel. Just get rid of it. You could probably put the front tire in the back and get, you know, a few hundred more miles out of it though. Now, of course, my riding position's also kind of aggressive, so I got, you know, maybe 40% of my weight on the front wheel. 35%, 40% of my weight on the front wheel, especially when climbing. I kind of have a bad habit of getting over top the front wheel when I'm climbing out of the saddle, when in fact, at least for traction purposes, you should probably be keeping your weight back over the cranks, and even ideally, I guess, over the back wheel in a really steep climb, so you can keep that traction going. But see, if I go over the back, it feels unnatural to me. I like to kind of, you know, lean forward in kind of a Superman position, but I don't want to go Superman over the bars. So yeah, I don't know. Getting off topic. Anyway, I think I got the tires in the shot. I think you can see them in the video frame. I did have a clip at the beginning of this video showing the tires. So there's skin wall, or what I call skin wall. What is skin wall? Skin wall means the side walls of the tires have like a color to them. Traditionally, it's like a tan color. And traditionally, I think it's been because the material was actually different there. Like latex or cloth or something. I'm talking, you know, decades ago. I could be wrong. Let me know if I am wrong. That cop's probably wondering where I came from. I kind of jumped the curb back there. There's something going on out there. I see police, what do you call them? Siren, police lights up there. Emergency lights. We'll go check that out. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, skin wall versus gum wall. They're both kind of look the same, the tan sidewalls, but I would lump, what the heck is this? Oh, he doesn't want traffic coming this way for some reason. Huh. I don't know. I would say gum wall, or like, the touch is more squishy, more sticky feeling, whereas a skin wall just kind of feels like the same kind of rubber on the tire. A gum wall will have like a little more, it'll be like a little thicker, I guess, the layer of the gum on the tire. So I guess that's how I'd explain it. It's kind of hard to show you without a comparison shot, but I would say my tires are skin wall, and gum wall, if you had to label it, you know, would be something, probably a lower quality tire, something more commonly found on a hybrid bike or something. Well, I shouldn't say lower quality tire, I should say for a recreation bike, not so much a high performance machine. There he goes. Got a fart bucket, but sure ain't going that fast. Let's go dishware. Actually, I want to turn around and go the other way. Okay. It's one way both ways, actually. Oh, geez. Just right over some potholes. Oh, yeah, I forget this road is very bumpy. Good test for the tires, though, right? So I want to say these tires ride better than the Durano, Schwalbe Durano, but that is, again, also, these are newer tires, so I can't really make that comparison. And I really need to ride at least a few hundred more miles to give a super fair review. But the main reason I got them was just the looks. The threads per inch is like, I don't know, 60, 67 or whatever. So they're not really soft on the sidewalls when you're cornering. But I don't like that anyway, because if they're gonna be softer, they're gonna be weaker, and you're more likely to puncture. So I wanted something that was equivalent to the Durano, you know, the vanilla Durano. And I believe that's what this is, the Continental Grand Prix Classic. Get up here to Hampton. Kind of sprinkling again. Put on my headlight. There we go. Whenever it's overcast, you should have lights on. Let me get my rear light on too here. Kind of hard to do while I'm riding. That'd be safe. Whew, there we go. Ideally, you'd have your lights on all the time, especially if you got some nice bright lights. And then you can charge them at your destination. Really, the only reason not to use lights during the day is if you're not, you know, wherever you're ending up at, you're not going to have time or a chance to charge them for the night, because they're absolutely required at nighttime, I believe. Do not ride around at night without lights. That's just really stupid. 21 miles per hour, slow down. Let's cut this way. Woo! Let's exit the park now, which is what I wanted to do like 5 minutes ago. I was having so much fun talking to you guys and gals. Woo! Over. Alright. That's one way. Let's go up Tam. Actually, you know what? Let's just keep going straight. We'll go past the butterflies again. $250. 250 years of St. Louis. What that cake was back there. Birthday cake. That's actually from like, shoot, that's from like 3 years ago or something. That birthday cake thing, statue. Squirrel! Alright. Let's go see if we can find any butterflies. It's weird. I don't understand why this parking lot's closed off. It's like you got this little park here, but you don't let people come and visit it. Although I am just going around some dog doo-doo, so people do walk their animals through here. I don't see any butterflies. The butterflies. Woo. That's the interstate freeway system straight ahead. That's what all that noise is. Good water. So yeah, we're getting a lot of rain here right now. There's like upwards of half a foot of rain in the forecast. So, you know, like 6 inches of rain. which is why I was bringing up hurricanes. Because things are cooling off. It's 70 Fahrenheit right now. You know, it's like almost 25 degrees cooler than it was earlier this week. It's crazy. Okay, okay. On the road again. So we don't know where we're going, BIKEBLOGGER. Maybe we'll go straight. Okay. It's a weird intersection. There's a lot of stop signs, but kind of a weird intersection there. Okay. Yeah, let's go straight. This guy's been waiting at the light, so he should change it for us. I'm talking about the guy straight ahead of us here. Okay, so our light didn't change. I don't know why our light didn't change. We're gonna go this way, see where this takes us. I don't know if we can cut through back here, but we'll find out. Looks like private property. I see a place I can cut through if I can't get through here. There are stairs over there though. I see I can cut through over here though. Past the electrical equipment. Or I guess I should say the AC equipment. Oh, I think I'm behind the gas station right now. Okay, that was a crazy way of getting around. I guess my bike wasn't being detected, but it's like the guy got to go left, but I didn't get to go straight, so he must have had an arrow, and I don't know if I was gonna get a green or not, but it's not uncommon for me not to get a green because I'm on a bicycle. The Highlands at Forest Park. Condos back here. BIKEBLOGGER here. Alright, so the camera died on me and I got a flat tire. So this is the next day now. Let me explain what happened. No fault of the tire. My tire pressure was kind of low because it's kind of wet outside in some spots. And I wanted to lower the pressure so I get more grip. But because the tire pressure was low, I ended up getting a pinch flat, also known as a snake bite. And it happened because I hopped a curb. I jumped up a curb and I whacked the back wheel against the curb when I jumped it. You know, I cleared the front wheel but not the back wheel. And so that's what happened. So I got a flat tire. I wasn't able to show any video of that either though, because again, the camera stopped before then and I didn't even realize it. For some reason, the beeping sound on my camera that lets me know it's recording or it stopped recording, the volume is just getting lower and lower. I don't know. It's kind of an old camera. I've had it since I started, or just about since I started the channel. So the camera's, you know, going on 4 years old. I actually bought it used, so the camera's actually probably closer to 6 years old, so maybe I need to invest in a new camera. So anyway, I'm heading back to the spot where I got the flat tire, and I can sort of show you more what happened, except I'm not going to recreate it because I don't want to get another flat tire. Whew. far from here is where it happened. I was, before I did the big cut in the video there, I was in a condo complex straight ahead, and then I reached the St. Louis Community College at Forest Park here, and that's where it happened, right where I was going to enter the campus. They need to fix that sign back there. There's another one sort of sticking out in the bike lane here. Actually, the bike lane might be this lane here, I don't know. Although there's a little symbol of a bike over here. Oh boy, street plates. I'm not an expert at hopping my bike without clipless pedals. It's so much easier with clipless pedals, or any sort of pedal retention. I can't do tricks and stuff on my bike. This is a road bike, I shouldn't be doing that anyway. So anyway, this is about the spot where I got my flat tire. So let's see here. So it's like right here where it happened. Bam! That's right where it happened. I was able to clear the curb, but ended up hitting the back wheel and got a flat tire. So that's kind of where my video last left off. So I don't know if we're gonna break this up into 2 segments. I might just make it one big long video. So anyway, so it's the next day now. I'm on the community college campus. Nobody here. It's a Sunday now. It feels wonderful outside though. I mean, it's low temperature, even though it's kind of high humidity. You don't feel it as much. There's supposed to be a fountain there. You don't feel it as much because it's not so hot. So thankfully, it's not so hot now. Are we still recording? I gotta watch this camera because, yeah, it's still recording. I gotta stop being so cheap. I need to stop spending money on bike stuff and spend more money on my camera. For you guys and gals. So I'm kind of recreating what I was doing earlier. I kind of went over dishware, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. This brings back some memories because I used to go to this college for a couple of years, like 10 years ago or so. It's been a while now. Looks like they're building a parking structure up ahead here. Most college students drive cars to this campus. It's a commuter campus. Yeah, that looks like I think that's a parking garage over there. And I was commenting before, you know, I didn't realize that there's like these doors here. Gotta be careful because they're exit doors, so they swing open. I could get smacked. So, I'll be careful there. But yeah, they're like building what looks like a parking structure. I'm not sure though, for certain. Unless it's an expansion of the campus, more buildings for more academic programs. And they're, whoa, don't drop the bike. They got some piping down there. I don't know if that's storm drainage piping or something to do with their HVAC system, heating and cooling system. Anyway, so yeah, nobody on campus right now. It's really quiet. And I was commenting, like, when I rode my bike over here, it looked like it's kind of wider here between the railing and the wall, so I got more space to ride my bike right here. Now, of course, normally during school hours, you wouldn't be riding your bike along here because this is pretty dangerous because it's pretty narrow. I don't know why that plywood's there, but I'm gonna roll over it anyway. So anyway, let's head back. Anything else about my Continental Grand Prix Classic tires? Well, these tires seem to be working great. I think I might have commented yesterday. Again, this is like a 2-part video. Because my camera died. I've almost never gotten a flat tire on the back. You know, I never gotten a flat tire on the back. And then, like, I jinxed it right then and there. You know, I ended up getting a flat tire yesterday. And that was only my fault though, because like I said, the tire pressure was a little low. And then I smacked the back wheel against the curb, which, you know, was a great deal of stress on the bike. And I didn't mess up the rim or anything as far as you can tell by the naked eye, but I did end up getting a pinch flat. And I say a snake bite because that's a type of flat tire. I did a video about what are the types of flat tires. But that's a type of flat tire where you get like 2 little pinch marks, you know, about an inch or so apart on the tube when it's deflated. So it looks like a snake bit it, you know, with its fangs. So yeah, that's what happened to me. So we got a new tube in now. I'm actually out of tubes now. I don't have any more spare bicycle tubes, so I gotta get some more because I'm actually riding with no spare tubes right now. Always good to carry a patch kit with you because you can always use those. They just take more time to take. The key with a patch kit is when you apply that glue and you stick the patch on there, well, you need to make sure the surface is nice and clean, but you need to just let it set for like 15 minutes and then it should certainly work. Some people have trouble with patch kits because they don't realize it's really a more timely process than just throwing in a new tube, because you gotta really let it kind of dry a little. The glue, I mean. Anyway. So, this campus actually has an interesting underground tunnel. You can go from one building to another building. I'm not sure if that's still open to students though, but it was back when I went here. Oh, election season's coming up. I remember years ago there were people out here during election season and they were looking for signatures or something to get eminent domain on the ballot, like making it illegal to take people's property basically by force, I'll say. Yeah, I'm against eminent domain, especially for private projects. There's no point of that. There's a cop car over there, but I don't see a... Oh, there's like 3 of them. Yeah, those 3 cars back there are like undercover police cars or whatever, or unmarked police cars. There wasn't anybody in them though. This place is a ghost town. I was mentioning that also before. I didn't realize I wasn't recording. Way back when I used to play video games more regularly, there was a game called Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl, and that's what this area kind of reminds me of right now. Just a ghost town, and I'm going the wrong way, and there's like nobody around. Oh, it's a parking structure here. I hear a beeping noise. I don't know if that's like an alarm or if that's a bird or something. It's a little too consistent to be a bird. Although generally when there's alarms for security or something, no, I'm not a thief. Generally they're silent alarms. You're not going to hear them. You know, they'll just go off and they'll be silent, so it doesn't scare away the burglar or whatever. Well, I guess we'll just go to the top of here and get out of here. This is public property because it's a community college. But, you know, nobody's here, nobody's around. If I were to get hurt, nobody really know about it. I do have my phone with me, but I probably should not be screwing around so much up here, but I'm trying to give you some different scenery from some of my other videos, mix it up a little bit. Let's check out the view. Nothing to really see over there, just like warehouses. You can't really see over there. There's that parking structure. Ugh. Yeah, so you can't really see anything. There's all the trees. Oh well. There's a science center over there. Let me show you that real quick. It's like a museum of science. St. Louis, Missouri. And then we'll get out of here. Woo! So straight ahead is downtown St. Louis. I'll stop for a second here, and you might be able to see the St. Louis Gateway Arch. Way off in the distance over there in the horizon, there's like an arc. That's the arch. And then that dome there, it looks like a mosque or something. That's the St. Louis Science Center. There's Barnes Jewish Hospital way over there in the central west end of St. Louis, and the freeways over there. So let's head down that way past the White Castle. Let's go down the way we came. I'm kind of feeling a little nervous. I want to get out of here because I don't know if I set off an alarm or anything, but I'm sure there's cameras around and I should not be sticking around in here. I don't want to get mugged either. It's so vacant. Yeah, there's that beeping sound. I'm hearing it again. Let's get out of here. They're on to us. Watch these speed bumps. Yeah, I don't know what that squealing noise is. Hey, you hear it? I don't know what that is. Alright, let's go. I'm sure they're just waiting for me back at the street, right? I'm a little tired right now actually because I went for a run earlier today and I didn't know what I was going to do with this video. I was like, oh, maybe we'll post it and then next week we'll finish it up, edit it, and then post the second half. But I think I'm just going to post it all as one video. So if this is a really long video and you don't like really long videos, well, you're probably not even watching anymore, so there's no point of apologizing. But this is going to be a long video. So. Actually, I'll just head back the way I came, really. Go back in here. Sort of end the video back where the condos were, where the video got cut off on me in the first place, because I don't know how long this battery's going to last. And I don't have a spare battery with me. Should have probably brought a spare battery. But what's your favorite tire? What's your favorite tire? Do you have a favorite brand? There's lots of brands out there of tires. I think Michelin, they're starting to do bicycle tires again. I think they used to. There's Michelin. Two popular brands, or two largely known brands that I've used are the German brands of Schwalbe and Continental now. So I just kind of stick with those. They seem to work just fine. As long as you're not, you know, trying to hop curbs with the road bike with the tire pressure really low. So what was the tire pressure on my road bike here? These 25mm tubes that are tires that I ended up puncturing the back. I think the back tube, I think it was probably about 80 PSI, which is really low for a road bike. To be fair though, I do usually ride my ride the tires at a pressure of about 100 PSI, but you know, I probably should run them a little higher, not because of my weight, but more so because of my riding style, which is run over all the potholes. a little careless with my bicycle, I think, in that sense. Check out the globes. There's a globe there of the Earth. The Earth. Oh, I don't know what these cars are here. There's like no one around. They're all inside, I guess. Must be janitors and stuff. Because there's like nobody outside of this campus. I can see. So leave the campus now. Speed bump. Ugh. And still kind of a cloudy day. Not so much rain today, so obviously the second part of this video here right now is a lot clearer, because when I went and checked the other video, the first half of the video, it started to get kind of hard to see through the lens because there was a bunch of rain droplets on it. So I cleared that off. So end on a high note there, nice and clear. Freeway to the right, kind of loud. Oh man, this road is pretty bumpy. So here's the Highlands, the condos again. We'll head back in there and we'll end the video here. City cycling. Continental Grand Prix Classic tires. Well, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Woo! Let's do roundabouts. Let's do roundabouts.